Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to the conclusion, episode 6 of Good Omens. So if you just watched my previous video for episode 5, you know that I literally just less than 5 minutes ago finished watching that episode and I wanted to just jump right into this one. So I'm not really going to do any sort of pre-episode discussion or recap or anything along those lines. If you need a reminder about what happened in episode 5, you can go back and watch my most recent video. But for everybody who's ready, I'm gonna jump into it. Here's the finale of Good Omens.
We should wait. What's he close up? Shoot him as Aerofowl! I'm sorry. I couldn't let you do it.
Aww.
Excuse me, why are you two people?
Long story. You see, I was in my bookshop.
Right, you should go back to being two separate people again.
Aww. Convenient to be able to make anything real. Good job, Adam.
We have to be able to do something. Just what?
Just the opposite. I'm rubbish with computers every time
So...
I try to make a break. I'm sorry.
Dude!
We're doomed.
Click!
It was time to decide who your friends were, and Adam had. So the Antichrist, 3 human children, and a former hellhound faced death and 3 monsters who came from the minds of humanity.
The thing is, they're not actually real. They're just like nightmares, really.
Little boys are your toys.
So will they become not real too then?
I am war. You were made to serve me, to live in me, and die in me.
And my mum says that war is just masculine imperialism executed on a global stage.
A little girl. Run home and play with your dollies, little bird.
Nope.
I do not endorse everyday sexism.
This is fabulous.
We're Adam's real friends, not you lot. You're a joke. Say what you believe, Pepper. I believe in peace, bitch.
Peace, bitch.
Pepper, quick!
I believe in a clean world.
And I believe in food and a healthy lunch. Actually, it's a very good thing.
Didn't that used to be your sword? I don't believe it was.
Good dog. Good job, dog.
I am creation's shadow. You cannot destroy me. That would destroy the world. Good day, gentlemen.
Cheek. Cheek.
Things over. Both heaven and hell still want their war. You, boy. Antichrist, what's your name again?
Adam Young.
So your friends got together and saved the world. Well done. Have a gold star. Won't make any difference.
Power of friendship.
You! You're the man in the car. You stole my book.
Oh, book girl. Catch. Ineffable plan as well.
Oh.
Well, the same thing.
You don't know. Yeah. Well, it'd be a pity if you thought you were doing what the Great Plan said, but you were actually going directly against God's ineffable plan. Everyone knows the Great Plan, huh? The ineffable plan is, well, it's ineffable, isn't it? By definition. Can't know it.
But it is written.
God does not play games with the universe.
Where have you been?
Have you?
My dad. He wouldn't hurt anybody.
Not your earthly father, Satan. Your father who is no longer in heaven. He is coming and he is angry.
So what do you want me to do about it? Fight him?
I don't think fighting him would do any good. You're gonna have to come up with something else.
But I'm just a kid.
But that's not a bad thing to be, Adam. You know, I was scared that you'd be hell incarnate. I hoped you'd be heaven incarnate. But you're not either of those things. You're much better. You're human incarnate.
Adam, reality will listen to you right now. You can change things.
And whatever happens, for good or for evil, we're beside you.
I'll tell you off.
What?
If I'm in trouble with my dad, then it won't be you. It's gonna be the dad who was there. You're not my dad!
What did you say?
You can do it! Say it, Adam! Say it again! Come here!
You're not my dad. You never were.
Angels all tied up with string. These are a few of our favorite things.
I knew something had to go down. There was so much of the episode left.
Ooh, bad luck, dear.
Oh my.
We're meant to be the good guys, for heaven's sake.
Well, for heaven's sake, we are meant to make examples out of traitors. So,
Into the
into
fire.
Right. Well, it's lovely knowing you all. May we meet on a better occasion.
shut your stupid mouth and die already.
Oh my god, the smile.
I don't suppose that anywhere in the 9 circles of hell.
See, I knew they weren't
such
going to
things as
die.
Robert Duff.
Something was going to happen.
No?
It may be worse than we thought.
They switched appearances. That's it.
Elective. He isn't one of us anymore.
What is he?
So, you're probably thinking if he can do this, I wonder what else he can do. Very, very soon, you're all going to get the chance to find out. And to guess, they'll pretend it never happened.
This is pretty funny.
Right?
They're embodying each other's characters' mannerisms, body language. It's awesome.
Lovely. Right. Swap back then.
It was just like Agnes had told them. They were playing with fire and would need to choose their faces wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had.
Called it.
Tartan collar.
Really? Tartan is stylish. So, Agnes Nutter's last prophecy was on the money. I asked for a rubber duck. I made the Archangel Michael miracle me a towel.
No, don't leave it alone. For a bit. If you ask me, both sides are going to use this as breathing space before the big one.
I thought that was the big one.
No, for my money, the really big one is all of us against all of them.
Well, heaven and hell against humanity.
Oh, you get
Right.
to choose humanity.
Time to leave the garden. Let me tempt you to a spot of lunch.
Temptation accomplished. What about the Ritz? I believe the table for two was just miraculously come free. Ah. I like to think none of this would have worked out if you weren't at heart just a little bit a good person.
And if you weren't, deep down, just enough of a bastard to be worth knowing. Cheers. To the world. To the world.
Perhaps the recent exertions had some fallout in the nature of reality, because while they were eating, for the first time ever, a nightingale actually did sing in Berkeley Square. Nobody heard it over the noise of the traffic, but it was there, right enough. That certain night, the night.
Okay, well that was episode 6, the conclusion of Good Omens. That was just, the whole thing was a delight to watch. I'm sad it's over, because it was just so charming and heartwarming, the entire thing. But okay, so one thing to touch back about from episode 5, since I didn't really speak about it at the conclusion of my last video. I really loved in that episode everything that was going on with Crowley. Every scene that they showed him with was so just over-the-top, theatrical, dramatic, and I was trying to kind of explain this in that video when, at one point, that when I say dramatic, I don't mean in like a heavy way, or it's over the top, but not in a bad way at all. And that's why I was thinking that it matched up perfectly with Queen. I think that the kind of performance style of Queen would be the perfect kind of embodiment of the feeling that a lot of the scenes with Crowley in episode 5 really conveyed. And it was great. I loved it. They did such a good job with pairing the music and the visuals together. And David Tennant, of course, did a great job with everything he was doing there. I loved the whole scene with his car driving through the fire and Hastur. That was fantastic. And then when he goes up to the nosy old neighbor man in the car, and then when he finally arrives at the airbase, I mean, that whole thing was just fabulous. I loved it so much. And we got to see some more of Miranda Richardson's talents this episode also, as she was possessed by Aziraphale, so 2 in one body, and that was entertaining, amusing all the way through. And then kind of the other big thing in episode 5 was we were getting to see Adam's kind of internal fight and how he was basically saved by his friends. So he was becoming more and more corrupted, kind of going with that side of what was supposedly his nature. And instead, you know, they were able to bring him back. So both Adam and Dog kind of abandoned their satanic background and destiny. And I think that really plays in also with the relationship between Crowley and Aziraphale as the overall kind of theme of the show, which we also really saw highlighted in episode 6, which was the significance of friendship and true friendship and real loving relationships. So I mean that it has a lot of heart to it, and when you realize that that's the core of everything, not just the core of the central characterization between Crowley and Aziraphale, but the core of the entire story about loving relationships being what is most significant and is what is going to save everything. That just makes it even more heartwarming. But it's true, you see that paralleled in Crowley and Aziraphale's relationship and what they were able to do because of it. And in Adam's friends being able to be the ones that truly saved him, pulled him back so that he could save the world, save all of humanity. And even in, what he was saying to Satan about, "You're not really my father, you weren't there." Again, coming back to actual solid loving relationships and knowing one another, the humanity of it being what is central to everything. And so both demons and angels maybe have completely different sort of outlooks on things. but they're both equally kind of detached from everything and inhuman in their own kind of way. So I thought it was really cute and well done, and like I was saying, I knew that they weren't going to just kill them. You know, this is obviously a very lighthearted show, and they weren't going to end on that note, so I knew that something was going to happen to get them out of it. And so when he's walking into the fire and Crowley, actually Aziraphale, is splashing around to the water, then it kind of hit me, okay, so they're disguised as each other, and that's what's going on here. So, kind of a cute little way of wrapping things up, and so everyone is so concerned that something happened. Somehow the friendship between the two of them caused Aziraphale to become more demonic, Crowley to become more holy, so that they can't really be touched by traditional means of dispersing them. So everyone's all on both sides are like, all right, just go away, and leave us alone, whatever. And leaves with a very happy ending for them, and a happy ending for all of our characters. Everybody gets a nice little wrap up. Well, no, not our angels and demons, but all of our human characters and Crowley and Aziraphale, which I suppose is what really matters. And Dog, can't forget Dog. So yeah, so I thought it was great. The performances were wonderful. As I was mentioning in this episode, I thought it was just so cool to see David Tennant and Michael Sheen when they were supposedly swapped. They're embodying the mannerisms and speaking style of the opposite one. So Michael Sheen very well embodied David Tennant as Crowley, and David Tennant very well embodied Michael Sheen as Aziraphale. And it was just so well done. And like I was saying, all of the acting was great, you know, John Hamm, hilarious. So I loved it. And I'm gonna have to check out the book. I think I'm gonna have to read it. So those of you that have actually read the book, were you satisfied with this adaptation? You know, as someone who hadn't, I just loved it all the way through. But I know sometimes if you are a huge fan of written material and it doesn't quite hit it for you, that you might have a different interpretation than someone who had never read the source material. So you let me know, were you happy with this adaptation? And alright, I'm in a good mood now, so I'm always happy after I watch Good Omens, so I'm sad it's gone, but I'm still feeling good. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Thank you very much for joining me today, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.